The raw diet is quite a bit different than your kibble. Kibble obviously has been processed, it's gone through a cooking process, where raw is all natural, it's just raw meat, it's frozen, you just need to thaw it before you feed it. It's also a lot more limited in ingredients, so that allows you to tailor what you feed your pet. It also allows you to tailor supplements if you need to. There's less fillers. When you feed a raw diet, it's actually better for the digestive system. It goes back to being very similar to what pets would eat in the wild. A lot of our animals that are not domesticated, so our coyotes and our lions and tigers, they still eat raw. That's what their digestive system's made up for. Our domestic animals aren't really very far off from that path. Their lineage isn't very far off, so they can still digest raw meat. The main reason they can still digest raw meat, though, is because their digestive tract is a lot shorter than ours, and it's also a lot more acidic. So it can break down, it has the ability to break down raw bone and raw meat where we do not. We would end up with the E. coli and salmonella issues, where most of the time our pets don't have that problem unless there's some sort of immune compromised disease or ailment happening. The easiest way to get into raw, some folks like to do an easy transition, so maybe do a morning meal of kibble and an evening meal of raw for several days, just a transition. I do find that a lot of animals, dogs more so, cats need a little bit more playing around with their meal, but dogs usually can dive right into a raw diet with no problem, even without having any digestive upset. The main reason they get the digestive upset is from the vast array of mineral packs in a lot of the dry foods. So the dry foods, they vary so much. That's why when you switch bag to bag, sometimes you do need to do an easy transition to help with their digestive issues. So back to raw, there's quite a few options when you're feeding raw. A lot of folks that have small dogs, or if you're vacationing, or if you have somebody watching them, a lot of folks will go for something like the nibblets, or even the patties. This is actually just a patty taken out of the Bravo lamb. It's very easy for someone to open and just put in the bowl and feed them. If you have multiple dogs, or you have large breed dogs, though, sometimes you need to go to something that comes in a bulk package. This is a little bit more cost effective for folks. The raw diet does probably cost a few more dollars than the dry food, but the benefits far outweigh your dry foods. Quite a few people can attest to that as well. People that were maybe not believers in a raw diet made the switch because of an ailment, and their pet's doing a lot better. Another thing that you do need to incorporate that's really good, though, in a raw diet, besides just doing your patties or your blends, is to incorporate some raw meaty bones. So the raw meaty bones actually include chicken necks. This is a sample of duck necks, turkey necks, chicken backs, chicken quarters are all very good for dogs. There's a lot of calcium and meat muscle in there. A lot of times they're a 1-to-1 ratio with your phosphorus to calcium. And that is actually very good for absorbing minerals and bone growth, especially for puppies. Now the difference between something like your raw meaty bones and a recreational bone, your recreational bone is actually used for recreational chewing. So this would be something in replace of, say, a rawhide or another chew. A lot of times they're going to take the meat off the outside, they're going to take the marrow out of the center, and you're actually going to be left with the bone structure. It's too dense for them to actually consume. If they're to chip a piece of bone off, though, it's still okay. They can still digest it. And then there's just a couple other companies besides Oma's. We also carry the Bravo and the Primal. They also do bulk packaging as well as some patties, just for, again, convenience, a little bit more cost saving for folks. There's plenty of options out there. Buying bulk, especially if you have large dogs or a number of dogs, is going to bring your costs down. There's a little bit more work and effort into it and breaking it down when you get home and making sure you have it thawed for your pet. But overall, most dogs do very well with it. I know I kind of covered a lot there really quick. Is there any other questions out there? That's kind of your basics on raw feeding. Again, some raw is better than no raw, so even if some folks will just incorporate just a duck neck in the afternoon as part of an afternoon snack for the pet. That's perfectly fine. Some folks will just use the nibblets as a food topper. Again, some raw is better than no raw. It really benefits a lot of animals. I know that was a lot of information. If anyone's interested, or your pet has different nutritional needs, or maybe raw is still a little bit confusing for you, I am starting to do nutritional consultations and health assessments. 30 minutes is $29, but we can definitely go over anything that may be of maybe catered toward your pet, your dog or cat, if we need to do that as well. So thanks everyone for coming. It's exciting.